Peace, y'all. It's your boy Vinny Venom, man. The Commission Cypher. We live and direct. It's Saturday. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're reporting to. We live in the flesh, man. Commission Cypher. This episode 14, right?
Think so.
Yeah, 14. Crazy, man.
We out here.
Big episode. We out here, man. We grinding. Shout out to everybody that subscribe on YouTube, man. We're growing. We're growing each and every day, man. We're getting more viewers, more interactions. So peace to everybody that that's following and, subscribing. If you haven't, right, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We drop videos every other day, to be honest. Same thing on the short side. So we giving y'all a lot of content, and we doing what we do. So the Commission Cypher, for those who don't know, anybody tune in for the first time, it's a podcast really focused around two big things, right? Hip-hop, music, and culture, and health and wellness, right? So the key thing here is that we live and direct at the Hydro Bar, right? It's a spot where you can come in and quench your thirst, man. Get your alkaline water ready for your household, your personal life. Come see us, man. Hydrobar.io is the website, man. Shout to Tim, Junior, Senior. Shout to Julie. They giving us this space to be able to deliver this content to y'all. So we appreciate them. And, I tell people all the time, man, it's the summertime. It's hot outside. People need to stay hydrated. People got to hydrate correctly, right? And with alkaline water, man, it's the best way to stay hydrated and the best way to stay healthy, right? An alkaline lifestyle is what I represent as a man, and I'm going to educate everybody that needs to know. You want to stay healthy. You want to, continue your day. Make sure you're moving around here the right way. Alkaline lifestyle is the best way to do it, man. So I got a special guest up here that I'm going to introduce to y'all here in a moment. A couple housekeeping items. As y'all know, man, the Drama Hour every Friday night, Rock the Bells, 9 p.m. East. Shout out to my brother Pat Poose, man. We had Rock Kim up there last week, man. Rock Kim was up there last week. Shout out to them. The Rock the Bells Festival was, I believe, last week or the week before. Incredible turnout at the Prudential Center, man. Just hip-hop. Everywhere you turn, it was hip-hop royalty. You know what I'm saying? So, but shout out to Rock Kim. We had a dope little interview with him. And check it out. It's on demand right now on the Sirius app if you haven't peeped it. We have a little bit of a teaser video. The full video will come out next week. So be on the lookout for that. Also, man, shout out to my brother General, man. He got a new record coming out August 1st. Street Sweepers Entertainment. Rest in peace, K. Slay. He got a dope record and also a video that's out right now on K. Slay's page. Anybody listening out there, we know hip-hop a lot of the time is for the youth, right? And the youth is out here talking about their experiences and what they're going through day to day. If you grown man, you want to hear some grown man hip-hop, man, click on that link from DJ K. Slay and General. General the Bank. It's a fire record. It's about really creating health and wealth for your family, man. So real estate, right? Stocks, bonds, etc. So shout out to my brother General, man. I'm excited. He's got like I said, the song's going to be on DSP's August 1st, but the video's out now. Make sure you go check it. And last but not least, man, follow me on IG, man, Vinny_Venom. We out here grinding, man. But without further ado, man, I got a special guest up here, man. This cat is I've been privileged to see this cat live in the flesh doing his thing on stage, but also been privileged to hear a lot of the music. And we have a couple artists that come up here from time to time, and when I bring someone up here, right, it's because I respect their grind, right, and I respect what you bring into the table. Not only locally, but for your crew, right? You guys just had a dope event in June. So this cat also, too, is an MC, right? So he not only is a student of the game, but he's making music out there that really connects with a lot of people, man. And I see it. When I see you performing, the fans really gravitating to you, man. So I got Mark the Dark in the spot, man. What's up, G?
What's going on, man? How y'all doing?
We grinding, man. I appreciate you coming up here, man. We
absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, I think a couple things. So to kind of piggyback off what I was saying, I know sometimes being in this city, we talk about all the time. Grizz, he's grown up here. It's hard sometimes to kind of create a buzz within the city, right? Because there's a lot of hate, a lot of politicking, right? And I think that happens everywhere, right? But in a place where there's not really a lot of outlets, it seems like you're thriving. So I want to kind of take it back to the beginning, man. So, like, tell me a little bit about your journey being a writer. Like, when did you start writing rhymes?
Shoot, so I started writing rhymes when I was young. I was always intrigued with music in general. It wasn't even necessarily hip-hop. My first CD was Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
Which one?
And then it was Thriller. I had the 25th anniversary. It had like the Will I Am remixes at the end and shit.
Okay.
I used to watch the videos on the little DVD player. So I was just always, there was always like an MTV videos going on.
Yeah.
Like throughout the house. So I kind of just started getting attached to all of that.
Dope.
Wrote some of my first rhymes as young as like 8 years old. Got roasted because my cousins found my notebook and shit. But my mom, she used to do radio, so she was always super tapped in with music. So that's why, that's kind of what got me into it.
Oh, wow, so your mom was in radio?
Yeah. She used to do radio.
That's
Wild 106.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was
like a local spot here?
Yeah, it was out here. And then eventually, when I was 3, we lived in Nevada, out there in Las Vegas. Dope. And she was doing radio out there, too, so.
That's dope.
You know Kiss FM, 97.3?
Yeah.
It was big in the 90s, and then 106 came and wiped them out, bro.
Really?
Like all through the late 90s, like early 2000s, bro.
Oh, wow.
They were, before like streaming and all that. But yeah, I remember 106 came through and completely wiped them out. Yeah. They turned into like a pop station out here for a little bit too.
Wow.
But yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's
right.
cool. Yeah, that's dope.
Big Mona.
That's dope. You know, sometimes I think people who make music, right, there's usually that genesis period where they're like, you know, they have some sort of life experience where it introduces them to the music, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's dope. So what age were you when you started to write?
When I started to write, I think I was probably like 8 years old, probably like 7 or 8 years old. Whenever Black and Yellow came out, that was the first shit I ever tried to write.
Word?
Because we didn't got no sports team out here. So I was like, shit, they got that for Pittsburgh. So I wrote fucking Red and Silver.
Okay.
My cousins found that. I still get text messages to this day about that shit. I'm never going to lay that down. But it started getting more serious like around like the end of middle school and then high school. Like really at the end of my freshman year, that's when I started telling people that I was writing. And then by 17, that's when I released my first track.
Dope.
And so we just been rolling since then.
Dope. Talk a little bit about your influences, right? So I know all of us have a certain album or you know, a group of you know, MCs or artists that, you know, really inspired you to do what you're doing now. So who are some of your early influences coming up?
Well, like I said, you know, that Michael Jackson was the first CD I had. And then we had a bootlegged version of College Dropout. And so my mom saw how much I like Kanye. And my first CD was Graduation. And she got me 808s. And then from there, that's kind of where it started to stem off. And I started finding my own music and everything. Because my grandma would not let me listen to that shit. I'd get in trouble. And so when I'd see my mom, we'd be driving on the way to school. She'd be like, look, we're going to take the long way. You get like enough time for 3 songs. So what we listening to today? And then from there, like Andre 3000, that's probably my favorite rapper of all time. DMX, 50 Cent, love all of that. Jay-Z for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, those are really great artists to, you know, have a blueprint on, right?
Oh, yeah.
To try to foundation on, you know what I'm saying?
Most
Those guys are not only legends, but they incredible MCs that they own, right? You know what I'm saying? When you think about, so let me ask you, like, I know Michael Jackson being kind of the first album you remember getting and everything. Did you study that album? And if so, were there any things from the Michael Jackson that you wanted to kind of parlay into the hip hop side?
Not necessarily. I definitely, once I was able to get on YouTube, because we didn't have internet when I was young, but once I was able to like get on YouTube and started seeing his performances, I'd say the one thing I wanted to capture from him, because I'm not really no singer like that, but his stage presence. Yeah. Like this motherfucker could just stand there for 30 seconds and the whole crowd, he got dudes falling out. Like, so that was definitely a huge influence right there.
The thing about MJ that's so insane to me is his stage presence was incredible, but to me he was a jack of all trades. Like he hit you with the singing, he had a great voice, right? And he could go up and down on his range. He could dance, you know what I'm saying? And then you know he had that like mystique about him. So I always ask that because I think Thriller is such a, when you look at Thriller and you listen to it from front to back, the album structurally is just amazing. Quincy Jones and MJ, like they put together a masterpiece from top to bottom in the way it flowed. So I think in hip hop sometimes we lose sight of that structure because me and Grizz talked about it when 50 was really popping, when G Unit blew the fuck up and 50 blew the fuck up. If you really notice after 03, all the hip hop albums started to sound the same structurally. You had a record for the girls.
For sure.
You had a club record. You had a hard record, and then it was like a compilation of all those records put into an 18, 19 track album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he laid
And
out
I think
a blueprint.
sometimes the structure kind of it got away from for a while. So that's cool that you got that album in there as kind of the genesis of you doing that. Now you mentioned College Dropout, so I'm guessing you a huge Kanye fan. Was he kind of the first?
I would say like after Dark Twisted Fantasy, that's kind of when I started to like there'd be a song here and there, but like I wasn't a huge fan of Yeezus or Life of Pablo or none of that. And a lot of people think I'm tripping for that, but that's just because I hate to say it because it's kind of cliche now, but like I really did grow up listening to the old Kanye. So I'll go back and listen to Late Registration and all that shit before I'm gonna go listen to what he's doing now.
Yeah, Kanye's an interesting cat because I was blessed enough when I had my first job as a kid. I was doing street team back home, and Diplomats were associated with Rockefeller at the time. They were actually just ending their deal with Rockefeller, but that's when Kanye started to come up.
Oh yeah.
So he was doing these mixtapes in the streets too.
Yeah.
And he just broke his jaw. So he had, he already did H to the
scenes.
Izzo. He was already doing records for a lot of people, Kweli.
Yeah.
But I didn't really heard him spit. Once I heard Kanye spit with the production, I was like, yo, this kid's gonna be something special.
Yeah, no, he's cold.
And he came out the fucking gate. And he's one of those guys we talked about on this pod. He's one of those rappers that like his influence 25 years is still, you get baby Kanye's everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
and it's
you get
across,
baby Lil Wayne's everywhere.
It's across all boards too. It's
Right.
production, it's actual music, it's his fashion. I don't know. Nowadays he kind of tripping, but
I mean, that's what happens when you get fame and power.
Yeah.
It consumes you. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, I don't think Kanye got the right people around him. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. The music is still there. I mean, I've heard some recent stuff from Kanye. I'm like, damn, this shit's crazy. This shit cold. Content-wise, it's a little iffy.
Yeah.
Talking about some weird shit. But musically, he's always been top of the line, so that's dope. So let me ask you this. So when you decided, hey, I really want to do this and do this at a high level, what was your experience like kind of coming up through the city, right? I call this city the Q, right?
yeah,
That's just my name.
Yeah, I
for
call
it.
that
It's
shit
the
the Q too.
The Q is an interesting place because it's very, very known for it's known for things outside of the music, right? So you're kind of crawling up a hill that's never been climbed. People haven't climbed that hill before. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard. I did it too with my crew. We try to make a name for ourselves out here, but you need to have those connections, right? So for you coming up in the queue, what were some of the obstacles you had coming up originally, and what were some of the things that did you ever feel like, hey, I ain't gonna do this no more, type shit?
I never necessarily felt that. Definitely have felt a lot of frustration, but it's really just because I think my biggest issue was trying to break into something that everybody else was already doing. And because it's so competitive out here, and not really in a good way, the people who already had their name and they setting established, they're not really looking to let new people in because they know what they had to do to get to that. So rather than just opening up the gates for everybody, there's a lot of gatekeepers. So that's been one of the biggest things.
Yeah, it's crazy. I did back in it's probably like 05. I'd probably say like 06 to like 2010, 2012-ish. I had a crew that we was doing, and I had a bunch of rappers that we would have underneath my umbrella, and I kind of held down the behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
And I had, a couple of rappers. We had DZ, we had my brother Shame Dollars, we had my brother J Dot, and we was out here. Everyone was selling CDs, and I could never understand it from a consumer perspective. If I'm outside of a show, and you got a bunch of rappers that are wanting to pitch a CD, they're like, yo, buy this shit. I don't know who the fuck you is. Your work could be garbage. I ain't giving you my money.
Yeah.
So what we did is we pressed up 1,000 CDs, and we was giving away for free.
Yeah.
Just passing them out. Sometimes we see them on the ground. We see them in the trash.
Oh, yeah, that shit
You know what I'm
happen.
saying? That shit happens, but that's how we kind of created a buzz, right? Because I knew from a mixtape perspective, my experiences with the mixtapes throughout the years is for promotional use only.
Yeah.
These people want to hear the music. They don't necessarily want to pay until you build up a fan base, right?
Exactly.
So it was hard for us to do it at first, you know what I'm saying? But you keep pushing, you keep elevating. I see you do a lot of shows lately, man. How's that been for you?
Oh, man, it's been great.
You like being on stage?
I love it. I love it. I'd say since like the summer of last year, that's when we did Benny the Butcher, and that's when I did 310 Baby. It's supposed to be OGZ too. But
okay.
I just, last summer was cool, and so I just vowed that like this was gonna be the first year where we actually throw our own shit, so I can put money in my homies' pockets and stuff.
Yeah, I
and,
saw
and
that, man.
start
Salute
selling
you.
the
Yeah.
brand and everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna post the recap for the show probably later today. Like I finally jumped in the crowd and shit. So
No.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
I
something different about being on stage. That's my favorite part about making music.
It is, man. Being on stage is something special, man, because you get that energy from the crowd and it fuels you. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't been on stage to perform, it's hard to explain.
I mean, but you got to be up there with confidence, though. Like my first performances wasn't all that. You know what I'm saying? But once
Takes practice.
Yeah, and you gotta love the music you performing too.
Absolutely.
And once I started realizing that I was getting more in my bag, I'm excited to share that with people. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think it shows, man. I think, it's funny. I had seen, the reason I want to show up on the show, because you called my eye recently, was because of the show. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I see the SWS, I see the shirts, I seen you on socials, and I was like, I don't see a collective doing a show somewhere.
Yeah.
I never seen that. Because a lot of these guys in the city, they'll wait for a big artist to come, try to inch their way into an opening act.
Exactly.
You don't know what kind of shit you got to do. You don't know if you got to bend over, swallow, suck, spit, gargle. You don't know what you got to do. And then you end up usually getting the shit in the stick when you open up for artists. So for you coming together with your crew and actually doing a show, that's fire, bro. Yeah. That's you putting your destiny in your own hands and saying, yo, I'm going to do this shit. You being independent. You're not relying on nobody but yourself and your talent.
Yeah. And
that's
the idea behind that, too, really is like, I think one of the main struggles of opening up for other artists is you performing for their fans. Like, they paid money to see this person. They could really care less who's on stage before unless you're the one that brought them to the show.
Yeah.
And so that was the case. Like, I started noticing when we did the Benny show, like, I got a bunch of people in there. We did the yellow Southwest Soldier shirts. You just see yellow all throughout the crowd. And so those were my fans. They came to see me. A lot of them left before Benny came out, which is still crazy. I would stay for that. But, like, it's different.
Your fans are your fans. I noticed that when I seen you at Juneteenth, shout out to my brother Cali Soul, man. I went to go see him perform. And,
my dog.
Cali's been a guy that I kind of put underneath my wing for a little while because I want him. He's got a unique sound to the city, but he's also got that fans as well. And then I seen you moving around with your crew, and I was like, oh, you bubbling. You starting to get it. You starting to get that momentum. So I wanted to have you up here to be on my platform to let the people know who you are and showcase the skills. You know what I'm saying? So tell me a little bit about projects, man. You got any projects on DSPs, and when did you start putting out actual projects?
So I think it was 2023. That's when, because I was in I should probably mention that. I was in a rap group right after high school for a couple years. Wasted a lot of time. It's still all love to them, but we just wasn't doing nothing. So I dropped my first project with my producer, Pharrell. That's really, me and him is the ones that kind of started this whole thing. But that was Mile High Club. And then we did a small EP called First Blood after that. Then from there, it was just singles. He did a project where, he kind of curated the whole thing. And that's Pharrell and Friends. Then I just did Time Flies earlier this year in February with Jay Trav. And then Furlease is the most recent project that I put out, and that's with Rylan Oz. That one's, if you like hip-hop, go to that one for sure.
You just dropped the video too, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of that record?
That was Southpaw.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I got a video.
Tough, man.
I got a video coming out for Local too from my Time Flies project. I just got that back.
Dope. So is everything in-house? Production?
Yeah.
Video shooting the whole nine? You guys keep it in-house?
Videos, we still need one consistent person. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, my homie Fabrice, he does an amazing job. He's just got so many people that he has to edit for, and then he works for United, so he's not always the most available person. But
right.
if it was up to me, I'd do everything with him. But as far as production, it's all Gemini, it's Trav, it's Fari, it's my homie 3K. And then all the people we collab with for the most part, too, it's like, shit, you'll probably find all of us just at the house on a regular day.
Yeah. No, that's dope. That's dope. I think having a collective is important. I remember when me and my crew were running around, it was like every other day we was all creating together, right?
Yeah.
We skipped out doing the studio time at a big studio because I cracked the cheat code early as far as making sure I had the right equipment at the crib, right? And making sure I had the right people mixing and mastering. So for you, what's a studio session like you? Are you linked up with a studio here in the city? You got a home set up? What you got going on?
So we got a couple songs that we done released that we made just with the home setup. But like with Trav, he got his own setup. So when I go over there and record, that's where I recorded all of Time Flies. And then sometimes I'll go over there to do other tracks. But usually when I'm there, it's just something that he produced.
Dope.
So really the strategy is we'll make reference tracks at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Now, because I'm not really an engineer like that yet. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I'm still building towards. But we'll take those reference tracks and we'll have time to listen to them. So when we go to On the Moon with my homie Nick, we can lay the song down, get everything done in 15 minutes, spend the rest of the hour just getting it mastered. Yeah. So we just pay for an hour. Now we got a song ready to go.
Dope. No, that's good, man. Mixing and mastering is so important because I tell artists all the time, like, you start pitching your records to DJs and you start getting up to some of the high-level DJs in the industry. Yeah, that's one thing. If it don't sound right, they ain't gonna play it.
Yeah, you don't want to blow nobody's speaker too.
Yeah, you want to make sure that mix and mastering is something that you pay attention to and have the right people to do it. You know what I'm
most definitely.
So that's dope. Before we're gonna jump into some topics, but I want to ask you a little bit about a little bit of lessons you learned being in the industry, but also like as far as writing process. I know a lot of people have different writing processes, right? Some people like to blow a lot of tree, drink a lot, right? Some people don't write at all; they go off the top. For you, what's your writing process look like? Do you get a beat and then write, or do you just have a notebook full of raps?
Both. So I have several notebooks full of just raps. Like sometimes when I'm at work, if I'll just think of something, I have like a specific set of notes where it's like one bar. And then so if I'm struggling, if I'm ever having writer's block or something, or I don't know how to start a verse, I'll just go find one of them lines and then I'll just build off of that.
There you go.
But I write my best shit in the morning. And so usually I'll already have an instrumental. I'll just be listening to it on repeat at work, go to sleep, wake up, and boom, now I got the idea that I was trying to think of.
Dope. No, that's dope. What are some of the lessons you learned coming up so far? Like, I know you're still on your grind. You're still trying to, make a name for yourself. But what's maybe one valuable lesson you learned early that you take every day? Like, yo, I gotta make sure.
Probably don't burn bridges, for one. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't want to still associate with somebody, just don't burn bridges because you don't know who they know. And having mutual friends is way better than mutual enemies. And number two, this shit costs money. So make sure you got you a bag. If you got to have a regular job, do that because you can't really get nowhere from a cell. So I know that fast money is intriguing, but it's not really going to end well for you. Right. Because then you're going to have one foot in this and one foot in the streets.
You got to have a foundation, I think, financially.
Yeah.
I posted a video on the YouTube, and I got a lot of traction on it last week, also on IG. I tell a lot of artists, bro, like, invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got a bag right now, do a little $5,000 loan right now. If you got a 9-to-5, right? And get in with somebody who can really point you in the right direction, like a project manager that can say, yo, we're going to go from point A to point Z. Yeah. You got a budget ready because you're right, this shit costs money.
Yeah, for sure.
Nowadays, to get a record out there to the radio and everything like that, I mean, we talking 6 figures.
Yeah.
Independent artists don't got 6 figures just laying around.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? So you really have to grind. Shouts to this kid named Bass Swag. He's based out of NY. New school rapper, not really my cup of tea, because I'm more of I like more hip hop in a different vein. But I'm seeing this kid grind. He's doing drops for DJs he's doing 100 drops for DJs every week. DJs across the country, shopping his record around. He's independent. He just literally uploaded his shit just like a lot of artists do, and he's got a huge record in New York right now. Yeah. So keep punching, keep grinding, right? Put the right chess pieces on the board. But make sure if you ain't got that bread, invest in yourself. Don't let no one come to your block and say, hey, I want a cut. Yeah. You built that block. You feel me? And don't let nobody set up shop with you and give you a cut off of what you do. I used to tell my brother Pap all the time, he would laugh. We were selling a album every month to the fans before it hit DSP. So all our loyal fans, you pay $21, we send you a link for the project. I tell you, I was up to the wee hours of the morning sending emails, nodding off, because it was just us and our team. But people would ask, like, well, why are you doing that before DSPs? I say, yo, you don't understand that these streams, you get paid a quarter of a penny per stream from Spotify. These guys is robbing the artists.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to pay for these bars. You know what I'm saying? You're going to pay for this work. And the loyal fans come through, they support. So building that fan base is really important. And I see you out here doing that. So salute to you and your crew.
Appreciate that, man.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you coming up for sure. Last question I want to ask before we jump into some topics. If you had any you know, if you're working on your first project for the masses, bro, and you have maybe 3 artists that you had an unlimited budget to get with, who are some of your dream collabs? Give me like 3.
Andre 3000, Mary J. Blige, and let's see. I would want like, I don't know. See, so we got the lyricist, we got the singer. I would want somebody with some swag, but so I want to say Snoop, but really who I'm thinking of, I would want Scarface.
Oh,
yeah,
Scarface.
That would be tough.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. I love Scarface.
Yeah,
one of my favorites, man. So that's dope. Nah, man, keep pushing. You know, I think, like I said, you know, I think a lot of the time artists get discouraged because we do come from, a lot of the people that come up here are from this city, right? They've been here since day one and they're trying to make a name for themselves. Remember that when there's competition within the city, always look at it as a competition with the music. Don't try to compete with them on a street level. Don't try to compete with them on any other level than on this mic, because that's what's going to help you show, improve, and get your confidence up, right? I dealt with that shit with my collective, too. We had a lot of, it was stupid beef. You go to a club, you know, then you see this other rap crew. It's stupid shit. It's childish shit. So always think above that and overstand that shit, because you are going to have to deal with that, but it's how you react to it that makes you set yourself apart from the rest of the pack. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So keep grinding, keep doing your thing, and you know what I'm saying? You always got a platform up here. Just remember that. So I tell everybody who comes up here, you got a single, an album, you know, you want to promote some, hit us. You know what I'm saying? Hit us.
Oh, most definitely.
You're more than welcome to come up here and promote what you got. You know what I'm saying? Because we support motherfuckers that do this shit for real. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm going to begin with
that love this shit. You know, I know you love this shit.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I'm
most
saying?
definitely.
So, yeah, man. So, Grizz, I know we got some topics to hit on. T-Rap, let me ask you something real quick.
Yeah.
Related to Mark. So, I know you got a relationship with Mark. So, tell me a little bit about, you're from that younger generation. I'm a little older than y'all, right? Me and Grizz, we a little older, so we come from that kind of golden era perspective. You coming from the newer generation, what made you kind of poke your ears out to Mark's music? What made it a highlight for you?
Like, not even trying to be like that, but like on a personal level, like me and Mark can vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with me, I'm a music head. I vibe with music heads. So like if I can, you know, talk to Mark about the shit, I know he knows his shit. So that's basically what it came down to, is like I know I can have an actual music conversation with somebody.
Right.
You can talk music with people, but sometimes it's in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
This motherfucker ain't like that, so.
And I met him when I was like 16 too.
Yeah.
I was sitting there ditching school.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
24?
I forgot how old I was. Shit.
You've been doing this shit for a while. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I think for me, the thing that drove me to the music was just, I like the production that you had. I feel like you pick really good production for your style.
I appreciate that.
Definitely work on, you know, going through different sounds and meshing with different things, but I know you have the talent enough to do it. So once you start getting comfortable, you start mastering that, you know, go to another scene and try to master that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you expand your range. You feel me?
You have an older brother?
I do, but I don't talk to him.
No.
Yeah, nah.
You look familiar. Y'all both look familiar.
Oh, no, my older brother ain't black.
No, you look familiar.
We got different dads. He a white.
You look familiar too. I feel like I know y'all. I mean, I'm way older than y'all, but I feel like
might have seen them around the street or
when
something.
you were kids. You for sure. I'm pretty sure. Did you grow up like up in the Heights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Heights.
It'll click.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure. I don't. We talk off the mic just because I don't want to put all everybody business out there. But I feel like
I'm like, I wonder what I was doing, bro.
Yeah. It wasn't on nothing like that, bro. But I just feel, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna talk to you about like if you grew up in a certain area where
that's
you went
kind of how me and Chris,
saying?
same thing. It was like, yo, I know you from somewhere type shit. So you know that.
But,
yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you look familiar, but like recently, like I feel like I seen you somewhere, and I feel like I remember seeing you when you were just a little kid. I don't remember where.
A baby.
Maybe you used to kick it with one of my homies' nephews or something like that. But we'll chop it up. I'm talking about yeah.
I know now. I want to know too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Well, we
got a lot of shit. I know there's a lot of shit to talk about. So I know we got a list of topics we can hit real quick. What we got?
The first one is Drake. So what did I miss? Did y'all listen to that? Did y'all hear it?
#1 record in the country, bro. You seen that?
Yeah, I heard
it. #1 record in the country.
You didn't hear it? You're the only one, bro. Damn. You heard it or no?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you feel?
I'm not okay. So in general, like even before the Kendrick shit, I was never really like huge on Drake.
That's why I fuck with Mark.
There's like a select.
Shut up.
Like every now and then he'll do something, and I'm like, okay, that was hard, but ultimately I'm just like, nah. And then now he's making it sound like he's like public enemy #1. It's like, bro, you still one of the most played artists in the world. Why you acting like the world is on your top, bro? It's okay.
But I feel like, it felt like maybe the world, because everybody turned against him, and so to him, those are his close homies. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like all those big artists, yeah, they all kind of switched up on him, right? And so it feels like the world to us, but to him, like that's his phone book. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the people that he used to fuck with or that fuck with him or whatever.
What'd you think of the record?
I liked it, bro.
Like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
The beat, man.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked the rollout. I liked the live stream.
He's doing something
that
different.
idea. I like that. Yeah, he stays up with what's going on, right?
Absolutely.
He stays current always. Like this, he knows what's up. He's smart. He's not one of these artists that it stays in the same place, right? Like he keeps going with what's going on. And so, yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I fuck with it. I like it. Yeah,
it's an interesting record because I'm in the same boat as you, Mark. Like when Drake first came out, I was like, what's the hype? Like I really didn't see. I think he had something special when he first came out, obviously, because a lot of people gravitated to him. Yeah. But it's hard to impress me, man. Like I come from an era where it's like, if you ain't spitting and you ain't putting albums out like you should, like it's kind of hard to impress me. But over the years, I've really kind of learned that what he brings to the table is super unique. He's one of the first guys to come in the game and rap, but also sing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think he's a Kanye baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, but I've been critical of Drake a lot for a lot of different things, and I think you should when we're talking about artists, I think you should you definitely want to insinuate the positive, but you want to hide the negatives, and I think sometimes Drake shows his negatives a lot more than he should.
Yeah.
And I think it's a testament just to the person that he is, but when it comes to making records, this motherfucker does not miss, bro. He's got the formula on deck.
He's got to the point, whatever he puts out, his fans is going to play it.
It's insane. But it's not only that, he's able to capture the casual, which I find is super interesting because sometimes, like, we talk about the Kendrick thing. It's like, for a long time, Kendrick had fans. He was bubbling, but the mainstream really wasn't. They get him in doses. Like, oh, he's got a record out. And in this new album, he's everywhere. Yeah. Because I think he mastered the dumb it down process, but also able to situate the hit records. Drake balances that so well that's why he's got 38, 39 #1 singles on the charts. Like he's the #1 guy. Thing I'm really interested in though is that this record is not a typical hit record. Yeah. Which is interesting to me because I kind of feel like it's like a street. You know what I'm saying? He's getting a lot of shit off his chest. Yeah. The hook is catchy, right? The little ad-libs is catchy. So I wasn't sure if he was gonna hit #1, and when I seen that yesterday, I started to ponder. I was like, "Yo, this motherfucker can make any kind of #1 record, whatever he wants, and it's gonna go." It's insane to me, bro. Yeah. But again, I'm not a big fan of his, so I'm not gonna sit here and hate on him. When you have a #1 record in the country, after you getting slaughtered the way you got slaughtered by Drake, I gotta salute that, because what it tells me is that. What Kendrick what? You got slaughtered. Yeah, you got slaughtered by Kendrick. Yeah. Drake did. But you still able to bounce back.
That's your opinion.
I think that helped.
That's not
it's
factual,
a fact, bro.
Nah,
it's a fact, bro. Nah. Homie got dragged, son.
All right, yeah. Well, no. Okay, so this is my thing. This is my thing. If Drake was rapping how he was rapping on like Family Matters and shit to anybody else, that might have been some shit for him. But he was doing it to Kendrick. Yeah, he couldn't keep up with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like the one person that could be Drake in a rap beat. It's Kendrick, in my opinion. Yeah, that's the only person who can combine relevance with talent at the same time.
You don't think J. Cole could have been up there with him?
J. Cole don't got that. He don't got that killer in him. That's why he bowed out.
Yeah.
J. Cole is trying to kumbaya with everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. But I love J. Cole though. I don't got no problem with J. Cole.
I remember when Cole had dropped out, man. I was so disappointed because I got a family member and I got a couple homies that, bro, they was telling me J. Cole was Simba 10, 15 years ago, like, yo, he's the next Jay. And I'd be like, yo, shut the fuck. Like, I hate it when they crowned everybody before I hate it when the media or fans would try to crown a rapper before they even, like, reached maturity. You feel me? Like, why are we crowning this kid? He hasn't put out a fucking album yet. I felt the same way with Drake. And somewhat, I felt that with Kendrick. And if you remember when Cole dropped his first album and then Kendrick did and then Drake, who was the standout? In your opinion, who was the standout of those three on their first album?
We talking about like their debut albums?
Talking about the first debut album, who made that 50 Cent splash, in your opinion?
I mean, for me, I can only speak for myself, but when I heard Good Kid, Mad City the first time, I was like, I've never heard some shit like this before.
Yeah.
Like that.
You're going to say Good Kid. Who you think had out of the three, the big three that they taught, who had the first album out of here?
What's
Kendrick?
first?
Kendrick?
Yeah, for sure. Drake. I didn't like Drake's first album.
Me either.
I didn't care for
I
it.
like Drake's second album.
First
Take
debut
Care.
album? Take Care?
Yeah.
Drake's second album to me.
Oh, no, it wasn't Take Care. It was Thank Me Later. Yeah, my bad. It was Thank Me Later. Thank Me Later.
Oh, Thank Me
Yeah,
Later.
my bad.
See, I like that. I like that Drake. That was cool.
It's one of my favorite Drake albums.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I think
Nothing
Drake
was the same.
Drake had the ability at that time to pivot. Because if you recall, and I give Drake a lot of props for doing this, but he's able to. We just talked about he's very in tune with the times. So if there's a sound or a style, he's able to flip it. Like if Quentin Miller did the Enemies joint, I got enemies,
Energy.
we wouldn't really be fucking with it. But Drake gets on it and he enhances it, right? He's able to take it to the next level. So I think Drake's been the kind of guy that's been able to do that at a very high level. But I feel he didn't have the ability to put out quality albums. Like to me, I think his second album to me was his best crafted album. And then after that, it was just kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
To touch on that, I think the reason that Quentin Miller couldn't do it and everybody would care as much as they did with Drake doing it, is because what did Drake start out as? He's an actor. So when you give him a good script, he's going to play his role really well. But that doesn't mean that he's the good rapper in that situation. He just know how to read a script really good. You know?
Wow.
You read enough scripts, you start being able to write your own.
That's a good take, man. That's a good take. It's crazy though. I think sometimes too to piggyback off this new Drake record is do you think, Grizz, let me ask you, because I know y'all a resident Drake guy, so we usually go to you for all the Drake info. Same thing with T-Rap with Kendrick. Do you feel that this is the right record for him at this time to kind of respond to like Ross and LeBron? Do you think it's the right setting to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think this is the way you
for
do
sure.
it, because I think when you put out his next album, because I know it's coming.
He's got to address
He's-
it. I
he's
feel
not
like
gonna
you
talk
gotta
about it.
say something, right? He didn't. I feel like it wasn't over the top, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
like, but
It was
I mean,
enough.
He said something. Yeah.
It was enough.
I like it.
He should have did this first. He should have did that bullshit album with Party Next Door.
Oh yeah.
No, he should have. He should have.
mean-
I'm gonna tell you why. That Party, this Drake album that's out now, this Party, you're gonna hear this album for the next year because he's got so many records, and Party's a very unique writer. I've been a Party fan like more early, but Party's pen with Drake's pen, they're always gonna make hits, right? But I think it was the perfect time to do it because I think people was counting Drake out. Honestly, they was like, yo, I think the label was too. Like, yo, you can't put out an album. Kendrick just destroyed you. But you can't destroy an artist of that caliber. You just can't.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell people, like, Drake doesn't lose anything from the battle, nor does Kendrick. They're both winning. The only thing Drake lost was the perception from guys like us who really pay attention to the bars. Like, you lost, but you're going to be fine.
Yeah,
Look at
most
Nokia.
people don't
I
care.
hate that record, bro. I can't stand that fucking record. It's everywhere, bro. It's because why? The record gets stuck in your head. It's a hit record. This record's a hit record. So if Drake can just focus on making the hit records, homie's gonna be fine. But if he starts playing again, I'm gonna just keep it funky with you. If he keeps throwing these sublims like Jay does on this album, he's gonna have a problem with a lot more people.
But nobody really matters. I mean, Kendrick maybe, but not Rick Ross. Who the fuck Rick Ross gonna do? Rick Ross ain't gonna do shit.
How you gonna do shit?
Rick Ross ain't about to do a damn thing.
What about, wasn't he was throwing sublims at was he throwing sublims at
LeBron or
Why you dissing
Yeah.
athletes? Like,
well, that was his homie though. That was the
Yeah.
homie.
I
You know what I'm
feel that,
saying? Like
but-
that was the homie, and they probably haven't
Who else
talked
was he
since
dissing on
then.
the
You know what I'm
record?
saying?
we,
He probably
we just
was
don't know what be going on behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and why
saying, like-
people-
I do find
DeMar DeRozan.
I'm gonna keep it funky. I'm gonna side with Drake on this shit. Like, how are all these people who was with you, right? Literally, like I remember seeing LeBron like in the locker room rapping to some Drake. Like I seen Drake with LeBron. Like how you gonna switch up like that? That's not in my character. Like that would never happen on my end.
Okay,
so
but
for that to happen at a
do
high
you
level,
blame somebody for showing up to a concert? I mean, like,
you know what it is, bro?
What did Bron say that was like, oh,
you know what it is, bro? It's dick riding. Oh, Kendrick's the new shiny toy. Let's just jump on Kendrick's job. I'm not saying Kendrick don't deserve it. I'm not saying it, but what I'm saying is, but that's the thing is that
what you getting hurt about?
Because you gotta pick a side, bro.
Hey,
I mean, yeah, you don't want to get caught in the middle. But with Drake
pick a
should
side,
know,
bro. You know
Drake
what I'm
should know
saying?
that people are just like those are other entertainers. They got their own family.
I mean, you
and
can't
friends
be
and
nodding
shit.
your head when some dude's calling you a pedophile. Like if your homie went to a show, some dude's hating on you, and he's
That's
on
what I'm
stage.
saying. I'm not
But
mad
that's
at
a
Drake
hollering
for
the
addressing
that's
it.
my homie.
I just
Hollering
rather
the
Drake
lyrics.
address it on a
LeBron's his
single than
homie.
an album.
LeBron
I
was
mean-
his dog. You know what I'm saying?
To an extent.
I mean,
It's like a public friendship.
I don't think so, bro. I feel like they were boys, dog. I feel
Nah,
like
remember what Kendrick said on Meet the Grams, bro? Kyrie, keep the family away. LeBron, keep the family away. He was telling him, stay away from this guy. You know what I'm saying? So I think LeBron was like, oh, well, if he's saying this, maybe I think that's corny. And I think it's,
in LA.
honestly,
He's like,
I
gotta
think
keep it
it's
cool
wise
out
of
here.
Drake to address it because if Drake's not going to address it, what does that make Drake? A punk. You're going to let someone punk you. And to be honest, one of the things I do like about Drake is that he's not going to let no one punk him. Kendrick, you ain't going to punk me. I'm going to come out. I'm going to give you my best shot. Ross, ASAP. That's why in Family Matters, you mentioned that. And when I listen to Family Matters, I have this vision in my mind that Drake's in the middle of a circle with 100 people, and he's fighting everybody. He's punching ASAP. He's punching Ross. He's kicking this guy. Yo, Kendrick, I see you in the back. I'm going to get to you once I beat these motherfuckers down. And that's the kind of Drake energy that I like because it shows that competitive nature in him. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I like the record, man. You know, like I said, I'm not a big Drake fan. Everybody that watches, you know me, I'm not a super, super duper Drake fan. But what I like to show on this podcast is that you got to put your bias hat, you got to take your bias hat off and call balls and strikes. Drake's got a hit record, bro.
Yeah.
And it's catchy. Every Drake song I hear is fucking in my head, bro. The joint with Party. You guys heard that joint, Somebody Loves Me? You heard that record, right?
Yeah.
Can't stand that fucking record, but it's in my head, bro. You know what I'm saying? The girls love it. The guys love it. So, that's dope. But yeah, shout to I'm excited to hear a Drake album though, to be honest. When he drops the album, I'm gonna be listening. We're gonna review it up here and talk about it because I want to hear what Drake's got to say by himself. I want him to craft the album. I want him to hit a home run, bro.
It's gonna go crazy because he got the female audience. Females are the ones that buy music.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of guys that listen to Drake, bro. Sometimes I see more guys do Drake than females. You know what I'm saying?
There's a homie that lives out here. Went out to that Paris show.
Oh, word? The Drake show, the new one? He
bro.
That's crazy.
Flew out to Paris to go see the motherfucker.
Hey, man. But
Like,
that's consumerism
off.
for you.
Hats
That's
off, bro.
consumerism for you. But listen, I'm calling a strike on this side, and balls. I think Drake hit a home run with this joint, done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what he does with the album. That's why I'm really gonna make my opinion though. Is let's see what you could do in 14, 15 tracks. Hit records is cool, you showing off now, but what can you do with the album? Because I think Kendrick has set the bar pretty high with the album. We gonna talk. What's our next topic? We talk. It's another album, right?
Balls and Strikes, Clipse.
Clipse, yeah.
Yeah, new album. Let the Rain sort them out.
It's like God sort of.
Let God sort them out. My bad. The title here.
Oh no, you good.
Let
God sort them out.
Let God sort them out. My bad.
Man.
Anyhow, how y'all feel about it?
I love it.
You like it?
I'm so glad I got to experience like a new Clipse album in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was really before me. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of diving back. I always knew who Pusha T was, but I didn't know much about Malice.
Yeah.
And so for Pusha to be 48 and Malice to be 52, and then Pharrell, I don't know how old he is. He looked 12. But for them to still be able
young.
to come and do an album like that, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
They age like wine.
Yeah. Grizz, what's your thoughts on it, brother?
I liked it, bro. I thought it was all right. I mean, it was different than I had expected it to be, and you know, I think we talked earlier. I told you I like the production a lot. It sounds the same. A lot of it sounds the same. That delivery, that
The flows,
you know,
yeah,
that style Pusha T has. A lot of it sounded the same to me, but I was telling you earlier. I feel like the hardest verse for me was who did I tell you?
Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler the Creator. Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
Tyler
that
did
was
his
the-
thing,
that was
bro.
That was the toughest verse there.
He had to though.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I think he killed it.
When you were pushing and Malice, bro, you gotta come with it.
Yeah.
And he all right, bro. All right, no, you good. But I feel that with Clipse, I'm sorry, with Tyler's, Tyler had to come correct, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because when you with the Clipse, and you in that legendary position of being featured on a project,
And Pharrell producing it.
bro, you got to be able to come correct. I loved it too, man. I'm a huge Clipse fan since I was a kid, bro. I remember we talked about Rap City a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you guys might be too young, but BET had a show that ran right behind, right in front of 106 Park. It's called Rap City.
Rap City, the basement.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
With Tigger.
Oh no, I'm into.
Oh, you know,
yeah.
okay, dope. I mean, look, I you know, I guess the kids say I'm old, and I'm cool with that. You know, I'm an OG. But I remember when I was a kid, I seen one of the first Clipse videos I seen was called The Funeral. And this was back in the day where, like, you had to buy CDs to get music. Like, the internet was there, but it wasn't like, it was a little harder to get your music. You had to have a homie who had, like, Napster or LimeWire. You had to make sure they had a CD burner. Like, it was old school. But I remember first hearing them on that, and then fast forward to 2002, I was a freshman, and Laura Willing came out with Grinding, and I was like, oh, my fucking God, bro. And it was crazy because I grew up with older kids, older people. So when I was when I was a freshman in high school, I was hanging out with the seniors. And the same thing, I had older cousins. So I didn't really have cousins my age or brothers and sisters my age. So I usually gravitated to the older crowd. And man, I remember my cousin, you know, he was our neighborhood pusher, to be honest. And bro, he was going so crazy over the record because of the way that they was rapping. And I knew it because I've been a student of lyricism since I was young. Like I'm talking real young. Like I studied the craft of MCing. So to hear these two guys come at it, you know, with their style, it was so different. And then you hear that beat, it was like, what is this grinding beat? Like it might be one of the greatest beats ever. You know what I'm saying? It's so simple. It's so easy.
Redefined lunchtime. Just
Cyphers.
being in the lunchroom. That was the beat that everybody was playing.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
Yeah,
you just need your hands.
It's crazy. And honestly, like, it's crazy because coming from the mixtape era in that early 2000s, like, I didn't really feel that Push and Malice really got a fair shake. And maybe it was because they was with Pharrell, and Pharrell was such a big artist at that time. You know, they had Nerd, and, you know, Pharrell had all this shit going on, that their first album came out, and it was like, it was dope. It was really, really good. But I don't think it really, like, it didn't capture where I felt it should have. Like, they should have been in that top tier early. Then they dropped their second album, Bonafide Classic, and it was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
There's so much label drama. And then over the years, they always put out consistent music, but it's crazy you say you're getting a Clipse album in real time for the first time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's amazing to me because coming from a fan who's watched them since they came out,
I'm in the same boat.
I'm excited because we need that hip hop. We need that feeling of crafting albums, and I feel like this album is a great body of work.
Yeah.
Because of who they are as MCs, but also Pharrell just being a mastermind of being the production.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite producers.
You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys that I think when it's just all said and done, you know, he might be one of the greatest of all time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know,
For sure.
I thought the Tyler feature was dope. To me, bro, the Stove God Cooks hook to me was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, I love Stove Guy.
Because
The
he's,
track after that, though.
which one was that?
The Inglorious Bastards.
Hearing Ab live again was dope. Crazy thing about this album to me when I listen to it though is like I wasn't expecting it to be like an old Clipse album, and I think maybe fans might have thought that it was gonna be like an old style. But you gotta realize too that like Push's late work, especially like from kind of Fear of God up until It's Almost Dry, it's been kind of dark.
Dry was crazy.
Which one?
It's Almost Dry.
Oh yeah,
it was crazy.
Absolutely. So it's crazy because Malice to me on this album is the MVP, and not to take anything away from Push, because I think Push has gotten so much better from even the early Clipse days. You listen to the first Clipse album till now, Push is just amazing. His pen is, his doubles and triples and the way that he flows on those Pharrell records is insane, bro. Push has always impressed me. And then Malice, like he jumps on this record like he never left.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane, bro.
You can tell he's the big brother.
Absolutely. But you could always tell. You could always tell. Like even from the beginnings of the works, like you knew that, Malice was the old head. You know what I'm saying? And Push was always a younger guy. But I give credit to Push because during Malice's hiatus, he worked with Kanye. He put out some, in my opinion, I think Daytona's a bona fide classic. I think Almost Dry is a classic as well. He's been able to.
What was the one before that too?
The Fear of God?
Yeah, the black and white one.
Yeah.
With the Timbaland joint on it.
Yeah, Tim. So yeah, that was crazy because Kanye did his first album, My Name Is My Name, which I thought was a great album. I thought it was a really solid album. And then he did the Fear of God with Timbaland, which is crazy. Bro. Tim killed those beats. And then he jumps back with Kanye, does Daytona, insane. Then he jumps back in with Pharrell and Kanye and does It's Almost Dry. So his trajectory as an MC to me, he's been one of my favorites through the past 10, 15 years because he's been able to take his time and create masterful albums. That is an art in hip-hop that is lost, bro. And I tell people all the time, you guys need to start paying it. All you up-and-coming rappers and just fans in general who always say like, oh, the hip-hop now is trash, I don't listen. It's because you're not looking. Maybe there's not a platform telling you, yo, go listen to Slick Rick's new album in 2025. Listen to Slick Rick's album. This motherfucker 60 plus, fine wine, bro. His album is immaculate from top to bottom. That's how you craft the album. Clipse, that's how you craft the album. You know what I'm saying? So y'all need to start paying attention to these bodies of work and really paying attention to putting out an album from track 1 to track 13. That's a masterpiece, bro. And shout out to Clipse, man. I need more time with it because I think there's some things in there that, the first record to me, like when I heard the first track, I think it's called The Birds Don't Sing.
Yeah, that track was amazing.
That shit got me choked up.
They talking about, Pusha T's talking about his mom, and then Malice talks about the father.
His
and
pops,
shit. They passed 4 months apart from one another.
Yeah. I lost my pops a couple years ago, and
I lost my mom in 2021.
Oh yeah, condolences, man.
Condolences right back.
It's hard to lose a parent. Like for me, it's kind of different because my pops was around, but he kind of wasn't around to a point. I was close with him, not physically. You know what I'm saying? It was always like a phone thing. We'd always be talking, chopping it up. But when I lost my pops, there were certain things that they weren't coincidences. Right, there were signs from God that something was happening, and I didn't catch on to him until after he passed. And when I heard this record, it kind of took me back to that place of like, this shit doesn't happen to just me; it happens to everybody, right? And hearing, when Mouse was like, "Yo, the third knock, I knew he was home." Like, it's a very emotional record, and it's crazy because Clipse is usually known for their first track on the first track on the album to be that setter, like, oh, we about to get some crazy shit. And hearing that humanize them, but also let us know that, like, yo, they got something to say on this album. They got shit to talk about. And then, boom, you hit them with the Kendrick joint, the Chains and Whips.
Yeah, Malice had the best verse on that song. I don't care what nobody talking about.
I agree with you, bro.
Well, I don't know, actually, because that whole Jen rhyme scheme that Kendrick did.
Listen, Kendrick is amazing to me, and I haven't been the biggest Kendrick fan over the years. T-Rav can tell you I've always been it's not that I don't think he's great or nothing like that. I just felt he wasn't like the best of the best at that time.
It was the songs.
It's been a song structure. to me, like for me, it didn't matter because when I listened to Pimp a Butterfly, I knew what he was doing from Jump Street, and I felt it was amazing. I felt like his first 2 albums to me were home runs. Then when he dropped Damn, it was like, all right, he was really trying to hit the mainstream, and he did. So I knew from then it was like, all right, Kendrick is very ambidextrous. He can do anything now, and put him in front of whatever concept or whatever theme he wants to do, he's gonna execute and kill it. But Kendrick is one of those guys too, like Tyler, you gonna jump on a record with the Clipse, you gonna come correct.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I love about this album is because even Nas's verse is like
On
the
Chandeliers,
elite,
I was gonna
the
say
elite
that.
of the
That's
elite
crazy.
are spitting on this album. And I love that because to me, that's how MCs get elevated. It's the pen game. And Malice's pen game is immaculate, and Push's pen game is immaculate. And you just put that Pharrell flavor on it. Incredible album, bro. I'm loving it, man. I really encourage people to don't go into it thinking like, oh, it's Lord Willing or it's Hell Hath No Fury. It's a different album, but it has those things in it. The Mike Tyson blow to the face track to me is
Bro, that's a banger.
that is a
That's a
fucking
banger.
bro. My God. I heard a snippet of it a while ago on IG or something, and I just heard Push dancing on it at first. But it's got something for everybody, and I think if you're a fan of, elite lyricism, great production, and introspective songs, this is the one for you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Clipse, man. I'm excited, man. I want to see some more visuals. I know they got a great media run. One thing I'm gonna say on the pod that I'm really excited about, or that I was excited about, their rollout for this album was so dope.
Oh
From
yeah.
the interviews they did with, kind of Clipse nerds, like they're Clipse fans, they're hardcore fans, to the casual hip hop crowd, to them. I don't know if the leak was intentional or not, but I know the album leaked a little early. It gave me flashbacks to the kind of old album rollout where you're building that anticipation for the project.
Yeah.
And again, that's a lost art to me in music right now, especially in hip hop, is that we're not building up to something. We just drop something and expect people to swarm.
Yeah.
And I think that can reign true for, big artists, but I think for the Clipse, it was to kind of reintroduce them to this new generation. And I think they're doing an incredible job. So shout out to them. And shout out to Steven Victor. He's an incredible manager, man. He's done some incredible things. And I'm happy that they're with Rock Nation, because it's funny to me how we talked about on this pod a couple weeks ago, but like they was trying to cease and desist Kendrick's verse. Like, why?
Yeah.
Kendrick's verse, it wasn't nothing crazy.
He's not even saying that much.
He ain't dissing nobody. He ain't doing it. But I think I had read or I had seen that it's the optics of it, right? Pusha T's a nemesis of Drake, and Kendrick is as well. And Def Jam just took they tail between their ass and was like, "Nah, we ain't doing it." I get it from a business perspective, but Def Jam took a L. Y'all took a L, man. And I hope this is a lesson for y'all that Def Jam's done this since I was doing Street Team for Dipset. They never kept their ear to the street. They always let shit go by the wayside. They were never in tune with the hip hop crowd that they could have. It's like you could have the mainstream crowd, right, for Def Jam, but where's that mid range where it's like the artists that are underneath the mainstream guys that you can make, household names. I think in the early 2000s, late 90s, they had the Ludacris's and they had the down south, Def Jam South with Scarface, with Luda, and then they had the East Coast, Mecca Def Jam, then they had some of the West Coast. So it's like they're missing that, and I feel that this is a great story to tell the young artists that stay true to your craft, put out an album with a body of work, and make sure that you have the right people pitching it to the right people, because once you do that, things are going to come out and work your way. And Jay got a hold of it, and Jay said, yo, I want it. Yeah. And shout to Jay, because Jay would have been the only guy to make this happen at this level. With Rock Nation, they got a great team up there, and I salute everybody involved, man. I'm excited, and I'm still listening to it, man. I'm still bumping this shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to any of the other records that came out this week. I saw Larry June drop a project. I didn't get a chance to peep that. Did y'all hear the Larry June joint?
I haven't yet.
I didn't. Him and Boldy James dropped too. Well, not together, but Boldy James dropped the album.
It seemed like every time one of them dropped, the other one.
What else we got, T-Rap? Shout to Grizz. He had a bounce out. My homie Grizz, man. love him dearly because he comes up here every trip, no problem. He shows up on time. He's cordial. He helps out with our topics, but I know he ain't feeling too hot, so he out of here. But again, Clipse album, bro, I love it, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do now to support the project with videos and visuals and things of that nature. What we got next?
So next topic is what the fuck I'm here for. JID.
JID.
Oh, man.
That M verse.
Yeah, man.
when he dissed
let's talk
Kanye.
about it.
So on that
Let's talk about it, baby.
So JID dropped a prelux, dropped 4 tracks before his album drops. Has an M feature on it. An M feature on a deluxe or a prelux?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yo, that's crazy. Like,
I wonder why he didn't put it on the album.
that's an album cut. Where I want part 2. I want M part 2 on the album.
I feel like they made that when they did what's that song on M's album Fuel?
Yeah.
I feel like that was probably from one of the sessions they did or some shit.
But M threw a quick jab at Kanye, messaging or mentioning Yeezy and his cousin. Slim comes in aggressive, sarcastic, and clearly aiming to stir the pot, while also reminding listeners of his technical skills.
Yo, that M verse is crazy, bro.
Was this
Yeah, that
bar?
was wild.
Was that bar out of pocket though?
No,
It wasn't even that bad.
bro. That's the thing is like it's Eminem, bro.
And
Bro,
plus,
I've heard
Ye said that
Eminem
shit
talk
first.
about he told Puff to J-Lo, I don't give a fuck if this chick is my own mother.
yo,
I still fuck her with no rubber. And come inside of it had a son and a new brother at the same time.
And say that it ain't mine.
Yo, M's been saying the most
that's
off the
one of my
wall shit
favorite
since
songs.
I heard him. So to me, there's nothing Eminem can say that's not gonna be too far. Like,
True.
I'm all for it. Like, let's go. Now, if Kanye takes it the wrong way, then that's something on Kanye. Because to me, I didn't really think it was a diss.
No,
He's
that shit was just funny.
It's a metaphor. Like,
Yeah.
I go crazy with the magazines, like Ye and his cousin. I'm shooting and busting. Like, so
Bro, if Ye didn't want people to talk about it, he shouldn't have said that shit.
who M?
No. If Ye didn't want people to say that,
Oh yeah, no,
it's like
you should just get that shit on the
yourself.
raps, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, I have
Can't
my
make
own
yourself
take
a
on the whole
target.
Ye and his
Get
cousins
mad when you
thing,
get
but
hit.
like, I don't know, man. M's just the type of guy to me that like whatever's happening culturally at the moment, he's gonna rap about it. Like he's literally like, you guys remember? I know y'all young, and part of me, I don't want to like call out your age or nothing, or call out my age either. But like, I remember when I was a kid, I used to go to the grocery store and I used to have those Inquirers and the fucking like the tabloids. Eminem's like a walking like response to a tabloid. Like if he sees something in the tabloid, he's gonna say something. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter like who it is, bro. It could be like I remember when he was rapping about the lady who had like 8 kids, you know, the Octomom. You know what I'm saying? Like all these culturally relevant things in the time and raps about. He's always been like that.
Yeah,
So when I hear him talk crazy about something, I'm just like, yo, M's crazy. I was laughing when he did the DJ Paul thing. People thought that was out of
that shit
pocket.
was
I'm like, bro,
fucking
like
hilarious.
that's Eminem for you. And the crazy thing to me about M though, and this is the thing I love about Eminem, if you have a problem with what I'm rapping about, I dare you. No, I double dog dare you. Respond. Say something. He's waiting for that.
Bro.
I love that about Eminem, dog. I love that about him.
See, but
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
what was your thoughts on that?
the last M album.
Oh, the Death of Slim Shady.
Oh no, that shit was fire.
So
But
sometimes, bro, like I'm a little like, this is the detriment to me personally. Like, I'm such a. I wouldn't say I'm like a uber critic where I'm taking everything apart. I used to be when I was younger. I love the Death of Slim Shady because it felt like he was having fun again.
Yes.
And I love that he did his own production. I think when M does his own production, he gets his thought across better than another producer doing it. Like, I know he did shit with Mike Will, and he did some shit with a lot of big-name producers.
Yeah.
But when M does his own production, to me, it makes him sound better, more polished, and he's getting his point across. I thought the concept of the album was dope, but I felt he put too many records on it. I think that the tail end of
was
the album
long
was
as
too
hell.
much.
It was very long.
yeah,
I know he had to do the joint, like the joint with Haley was great. The joint with Jelly Roll was cool as well. So I think he had to put those on there for like singles and opportunities to push the album to higher fronts.
right.
I want Eminem to just put out, me personally, I just want Eminem to put out an album where it's not a extravagant rollout, because I think that's tiresome. I just want him to just drop something where he rapping and he making records. You know what I'm saying? Like, just drop something. And he'll get to that point.
I was happy to really enjoy, like, Slim Shady, though, bro. Like, me and Meyer, bro, like, to experience that, it was, I really
in this time frame, yeah. I know a lot of newer fans jumped on it because, obviously, it's the climate, but a lot of people, I think, people have been super critical on M, I think, since, like, he's been off the drugs. Since recovery. Yeah, and I was super crucial to that album, too, during the time because I didn't feel his pen game was up to par, and I think it was because he was getting off the drugs, and you know, that shit fucks with you, man.
It went from being out of pocket to him just.
That album hit me later on in life, recovery, because you know my pops had substance abuse problems, man, and I know that. I say probably over the last like 5 years or so, when I listen to that album, I hear records that of shit M was going through, and I think about like, yo, my pop's probably dealing with that same shit mentally, like, you know, he's all alone and things just didn't feel correct. But M's the type of guy to me though is that he keeps getting better and better and better and better and better and better. And I think, you know, 10 years from now, we're gonna be looking back on these Eminem albums and be like, what the fuck was this? Look at the shit he's doing now. He just keeps going. And this verse is a testament of it, man. I think him dancing with JID is important because I think JID is one of the newer cats that is elevating the pen. I'm waiting for him to put out a crafted album. I'm really waiting for him to kind of consolidate and really put out a.
You don't think Forever Story was?
Yo, that's crazy. Even the Never Story was crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, ripping, bro.
I don't know.
You got it. Revisit it.
As a body of work, I'll revisit it. I don't know. I feel that with JID, I think he's got the ear for it. He's got the pen for it. I just wish he'd have a producer to help him with it. One's producer to kind of narrow it. I'm a big fan. I guess just for me, I'm just a big fan of one producer calling a shot. You know, like I take it back to Doggy Style.
Yeah.
Snoop, classic. Dre was the mind behind it. Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links. RZA was behind it. Daytona, Pusha T, Kanye was behind it. These classic albums that come out, they always have some type of singular presence. And I think sometimes an MC of JID's caliber, he would benefit very, very much so with a producer. You know what I'm saying? And I think that
I'm waiting for that Metro album, Metro JID.
Okay, so maybe that's his lane. You know what I'm saying? That would be dope. Metro's an incredible producer.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
So many different projects with so many different artists.
What time we at, Trev? What time we at, T-Rav? What time is it? 1 o'clock? Cool.
Hey, but no, just going back with what you were saying, M's getting better.
Yeah.
Where does JID match up over the last two, or the two joints that he's had with M?
I think M washed him twice, but I think that I think JID really, he did his thing on this joint. He made M. I think he made M go crazy.
Yeah.
Because I notice sometimes with features with Eminem is I feel like think of the Conway joint.
Yeah.
Conway did his thing and probably sent it to M. And then boom, M did his thing, right? But I feel when M gets challenged, he takes it to that next level. And not saying that Conway didn't challenge him, because I think he did. But I think JID is he's carving his own niche where he's starting to he's starting to creep up. Yeah. He's starting to get to that point where it's like, hey, I'm not to be fucked with. I'm not to be fucked with.
I've been saying that shit.
And I love that. I love that because I've said it here on this pod, and Mark, you know, just so you know, it's like when it comes to me as a fan of hip hop, I have a serious belief that production and lyricism need to have a perfect marriage. Mm-hmm. And I feel that sometimes when cats just are rapping to rap, unless you're there's nothing wrong with just bars, but you have to have conceptual records. You have to have concepts. You have to have ways of delivering the lyricism at a very high level. Yeah. You can't just rap to rap. You can't just have vibes to just have vibes. Like, you have to have structure on an album. So when I listen to a lot of these new guys' albums coming out, or even veterans, like we just talked about the Clipse album, I want to hear your body of work. I don't care about your interviews. I don't care how much jewels you got. I don't care about anything other than the music. You know what I'm saying? And I think people need to People are gonna start. I think they're gonna start to realize that now. It's like, this is what it's about. A lot of these podcasts come up here and they talk about the drama. Like, I seen a lot of podcasts. The headlines are just Eminem dissing Kanye. Like, he ain't dissing Kanye. Let's talk about M's rhyme schemes in that bitch.
Yeah,
Bro, that shit was
Let's talk about how he broke that Volkswagen, where he was. I think it was towards the tail end of that verse.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's insane, bro. He's an alien.
Facts.
And I love the fact that M is not scared to compete with the young guys because M feels he's the best. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to compete with whoever's at that level. So shout to M, man. Shout to JID. So the album's coming, I'm guessing.
Album's coming in like 2 weeks, I think.
Really? It's coming in 2 weeks?
Top of August.
Wow.
August 8th.
I think so. Some shit like that.
What's the name of the album?
God
does like ugly.
Does love
Okay.
ugly or some shit like ugly. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, one thing that piggyback, T-Rab's been one of the guys for me that obviously he's in the younger generation. So he'll tell me who's out there lyrically inclined, right? And I know JID's been one of the guys he names quite often as one of those
I
top
will
tier.
die on any hill right now. Put anybody up against JID, new rapper.
It's done.
You can't.
All right. I love that.
You can't.
What
I will
about-
die on that hill.
What about people putting JID up against Cole?
I'd still put him up there. Like that. I feel like
'Cause
that. I feel
I
like
kinda-
that's
I-
an even matchup. You know what I mean?
Nah, see, so this the thing. I think J. Cole is more of a put together artist, and then
True,
obviously
true.
there wouldn't be a JID. Well, there might have been, but he wouldn't have been on Dreamville.
Yeah,
without
because
J. Cole.
JID's with
Right.
Dream,
Right.
Like JID has a lot of catching up to do, but I could see him surpassing J. Cole.
He's
'Cause,
gonna
like,
be. Let me tell you something about JID. I'm gonna tell you this now. He's going to be. He's already something, but he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in 5-10 years. If he's at the pace that he's going now, he's gonna be a problem. And I think you're right about Cole. I think Cole is very polished. I think sometimes he's too polished. I was really, his album rollout for the last joint, the joint with the the off season with the basketball hoop on fire.
Yeah.
I hated that rollout because it didn't match the music. I thought the music was stronger than the rollout.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think a lot of these guys who are at the mainstream level, like, yes, I know it's a business and we're out here to sell tickets and albums and merch, but I think when you take away the rollout from the music, you gotta let the music speak for itself. And I think Cole hasn't let the music speak for itself in a while. So that's why I'm excited for this new project, hopefully, to where it's just about the music. We don't need to do I'm playing basketball and an international. Like, we don't need none of that, bro. Like, we know you're talented. We know that you're, you know what I'm saying? We know that you're a master of ceremonies, but we need you to put that album out. We need you to have that mark. And I feel that, Cole hasn't hit. I haven't heard a Cole album besides, I think probably 2014 Forest Hills is usually like the mainstream's pick for his albums.
Yeah, for sure.
I still felt that album wasn't his best. I think his best has been,
What was that KOD album?
I thought the KOD album was perfect.
I thought the KOD album was better than it.
I'm going to tell you why. Because Cole's at that stage of his career at that time where he was looked at as a legend already. And you need to take a step back and talk down to the younger generation and say, hey, these are the pitfalls of the industry. Hey, Lil Pump, you need to stay. So to me, KOD was great because this generation of hip hop during that time, and we're seeing it now. Doechii said it recently. Shout out to Doechii. She said there's no stars in this new generation. They're all drugged out. They're all fucked up. And Cole was talking directly to that generation like, yo, I know you guys look up to me. I need y'all to pay attention. To me, it was his like guru moment in hip hop from Gangstar of like, yo, I'm talking to the youth. And to me, I felt it was strong because Cole, to me, I don't really relate to what he raps about. I'm not really a big Cole fan because of that. And it's not to take away, he's dope. I think he's incredible. But to me, I never really connect with him on a personal level because I felt a lot of it was, what's the word I'm looking for? I felt like he didn't have the means to be where he's at now. I think now his pen game, anything he puts out now is going to be leaps and beyond what he did. But I felt his story I never really connected with.
Yeah, no.
I never really Kendrick I connected with a little bit because it was Good Kid, Mad City. He was like, yo, I'm a good kid from this crazy ass city. I'm not like everybody else. I'm different. I want to do my own thing. And then I felt like with Drake, I never had anything in common with Drake. I used to laugh at Drake albums. Like, why
Drake's
is this guy?
too easy to roast.
I would trade your problems all day, my guy. Like, and my wife would tell me, shout out to my wife, she'd always tell me, she's like, yo, you got to realize that the men coming up during that time, they were kind of being desensitized. They were being bitch made at that point. Like, they were being feminized. And it's nothing to say that Drake was a bitch or nothing like that. I mean, I think, you know, I think I like about Drake, and I'll always hold him in high regard, is that he's a student of the game. He loves this shit. Bro, he says in interviews, like, Lil Brother was one of the first albums that really put him to write rhymes. And to me, like, if you're not a hip-hop head and you don't know nothing about Lil Brother, you shouldn't be doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I always felt from Cole to Kendrick to Drake, they always had that student of the game mentality. They're always going to win. Feel me? But I'm always critical because, like I said, I come from that era of Ready to Die, Cuban Links, Reasonable Doubt, It Was Written, Liquid Swords, you know what I'm saying? The Blueprint, Stillmatic, Get Rich or Die Trying, you know what I'm saying? The Fix. Like, all these albums to me are in high regard because they were put together masterfully. And I hope these kids, you know, Cole and Kid, they're like my age, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll get to that point. You know what I'm saying? We'll all get to that point where we have our shining moment. I'm just waiting for Cole to hit it.
You know
what I'm saying?
Through 4 Years Eye, did you listen to 4 Year Eyes Only?
Yeah.
Oh, like the like all the way through, and then like the last song, like the song.
Yeah.
I thought his playing was incredible.
Yeah, nah,
that one made me really gravitate.
He's like I said, bro. He's one of those guys. I think long term that. It was funny when Drake and Kendrick were going through their shit. I was really hoping Cole would jump in because I felt at the time Cole was better than those two. And then once Kendrick did a Like That verse, I said, "Oh fuck, he's not playing. He's not playing."
Y'all should have left that man alone.
Should have left him alone.
Yeah.
He was minding his business, doing burpees at a park somewhere. Y'all decided to start fucking with him. Got what you was asking.
Yeah, nah, you're right.
It
Right.
disappointed me.
But I'm excited for the gist. If it's coming in a couple weeks, I'm excited, man. There's been a lot of great hip hop this year.
Is crazy for him
And
too.
I'm excited to see what he does, man. But to talk, you know, to rap now, you go to rap about Emma is just like, yo, Emma's just.
Did you hear that that 32 freestyle?
Yeah. Stupid.
Bro, that Cardi beat, Jid over a Cardi beat. Say less, dog.
Yeah, nah, shout to them. What else we got, bro? I know we got to wrap up soon.
Raekwon.
Oh my God.
He's starting his rollout.
Yeah.
His birthday.
18th, right?
Yeah.
Dope.
Everybody.
Who we got on it?
You got, I mean, come on. It's Raekwon. You got Wu-Tang.
All right, but who
You
go?
got
Tell me, man. I don't know.
Method. You got Ghost.
Okay.
Inspector Deck.
Mm.
Nas.
Okay.
I mean, it's Nas has put it on the shit. He's going to be on every single one of these albums.
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to happen.
It has to happen. It's Mass Appeal, baby.
But I mean that's what's on the list right now. I'm pretty sure that the track list already came out. But do you think he got more people in the vault?
It's possible. Yo, Ray's one of those guys to me that, you know, he's another masterful album creator. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I mean, if he's got the whole Wu on it plus Nas, he had Marsha Ambrosius on it too, which I'm excited about.
I think he got
I love
Conway
Marsha.
on it too.
Dope. Griselda.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He got Benny, Conway, and Westside
Oh, he got all
on
three?
one track.
Word.
Yeah, I think I did see the track list now that you mentioned something, because I saw Marsha's name on it. So I'm excited, man. You know, we talked about the rollout too at Mass Appeal. This is gonna be an incredible summer, fall for them, and having Raekwon part of that is gonna be really, really important, I think, because Ray is one of those guys in hip hop history where his storytelling, his pen game, that luxurious, fly, hot end, high taste rap. He's the creator of that.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it, and I hope Cuban Links 3 come out in Mass Appeal. So all the fans out there who fuck with Raekwon, if we can get this message out to Ray and Nas at Mass Appeal, can we please have Cuban Links 3 under Mass Appeal, done the right way with an incredible rollout, with everything going on? I would love for that to happen ASAP.
His camera just died.
So I'm hoping that we can figure that out. So T-Rab, we having technical difficulties, which is fine because this is live TV, live programming. We just gonna have to hook it up to the
I'll switch it.
power. Yeah.
But
I'm excited, bro.
You think
Cuban Links 3, please, Ray. Like, I know you got it. I know you've been working on it, brother. Like, let's go. Let's end this trilogy the right way with Nas. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it happen. Get RZA on board. He already gonna be on board. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
That comes out next week, right?
yeah, the 18th.
18. All right, dope.
Shit, 6 days. You think the younger generation gonna fuck with it? You think it's gonna resonate, or do you think this is gonna be
Listen,
some old
I'm
head
gonna
shit?
make them.
I mean, shit, you right.
I mean, listen.
I'm doing it.
I'm gonna take this from Charlemagne the God because he always says this, and I love it because I think it's so poignant and so precise. It's adult contemporary hip hop, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where I feel that it's gonna resonate with the old crowd because it's high end. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't 40 plus, you 30 plus, you might 35, 40 plus, you might not fuck with it. But I think the younger generation who wants to accelerate the pen and who wants to be, you know, in your position where you're making music and you're doing it at a high level,
Right.
you gotta do your homework. You gotta pay attention to the greats. You gotta see what they're doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it just so happens to be one of those situations where they gonna fuck with it.
Yeah,
They're gonna have to.
It's like if you enjoy hip hop, then you gonna fuck with it. And like it's another example of like now I get to live through a Raekwon album. too.
Absolutely,
You know
bro.
what I'm saying? I get to say I was 24. The Clipse dropped. Raekwon dropped. I don't know what the hell was going on. Everybody just I don't know. Must be some. How old is Raekwon?
He's gotta be in his 50s now.
It's something about being about to turn 50 or turning 50 just make me just want to rap again. I guess.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, I mean, hip hop, you know,
I honestly think it's the turn right now. Like,
Yeah, hip-hop's
you
back.
had this
Hip-hop is
Kendrick
back.
Drake beef. You got lyricism back now. So now Raekwon got his lane.
yeah.
Nas got his lane.
absolutely.
Slick Rick got his lane.
Well, I think too is that you know, hip hop turned 50 a couple years ago, so it's like hip hop is still such a young art form. We haven't really seen rappers rap at a high level, you know, 50, 45, 50 plus. And I think Jay kind of started that trend with 444 where it's like, okay, these guys are actually putting out the hip hop that's needed for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
These young guys, you know, they can still make it happen. They can still, you know, scratch and crawl, create new sounds and things like that. But no one's rapping at those levels, and that's what separates, I think, the younger generation from the older generation is that it's wisdom, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's wisdom. Like, I always listen to the old heads that were ahead of me, that were older than me, because they had more experience, right? They always had way more experience than I had, so I always would listen to them. Sometimes you don't listen, you want to learn for yourself, but
most definitely.
you're going to pay attention to these gems, you know? Like when Jay said on 444, he was like, I bought some artwork for $1 million. 2 years later, that shit worth $8 million.
Yeah.
Few years later, that shit worth $10 million. I can't wait to give this shit to my children.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He said, y'all think it's bougie. I'm like, it's fine, but I'm trying to give you $1 million a game for $9.99.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of
That's
things that those gems
Shit
are
is tough,
delivered
bro.
that, you know, I ended up, you know, buying some artwork, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And having it, you know, and investing in stocks and things like that because you want to build that wealth, right? And a lot of these guys like Jay, they've been doing this shit for years. They giving that game back. It's upon you whether you take it or not. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of kids, they don't take it because they call it off as old. Like, oh, Raekwon dropping an album, he old. Clipse drop album, they old. But they doing it way better than y'all. So y'all need to pay attention and find out what the fuck y'all doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited for the Ray album, man. That's going to be dope. What else we got? Freestyle time?
I mean,
Yeah, let's do a freestyle. Which I know we live, so it is what it is. But this is the only camera working right now.
that one's working, but it's at like 10%. So
All right, so we almost dead with it. So you know what? Let's do this, man. University of Dope. Shout out to my partners at University of Dope. I know y'all be watching us play this game. I encourage y'all to get it on Amazon. This is a dope game for any hip hop fan. It's a disrespectful party game for hip hop lovers, right? So anybody that loves hip hop and wants to have some fun with family and friends and talk shit, and you guys can incorporate liquor if you want. We incorporate the hydro bar water, the alkaline water. But we're gonna say that for next week. But I want Mark the Dark to kick a freestyle, man. Let me get the beat ready. Get the beat ready for him. But yeah, man, I think again when we talk about you being 24, man, you have a really good palette, I think, of hip hop, and I think that's an important thing to keep close to you. But also, don't be afraid to go back and listen to, do your homework.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was born at a good time. I was born in the year 2000, so
Millennium,
there was still elements of what I dive back into and I enjoy, but it was also evolving at the same time.
Right.
I think
that like turn with the swag shit.
For a second, there was a good 5-year stretch right there where hip hop was kind of dying out, but
I think hip hop goes through
see it back.
I think too, hip hop goes through phases sometimes too, where like we get these down periods and we kind of get to these weird periods where like we don't feel that it's giving us what it should, and it's just the way it is. There's just so much music coming out and so much disposable type of rap that we lose sight of shit like that. But when we have big moments like big albums and things like that, it's important we talk about it and we study it, because if we're gonna do music, man, we gotta study the greats, man. So I'm super happy you do that. All right, cool. I got a beat on cue. We got headphones right there for you, so you can put them on and let me know if you hear the beat. T-Rap, put the level up on there you go.
Straighten out right quick.
Commission Cypher, man, it's your boy Vinny Venom, man. We here in the Hydro Bar, man. I got my guy Mark the Dark. He gonna come up here and kick a freestyle for us. Listen, man, let people know where they can find you, bro.
You can find me on Instagram. Really, my link to everything else is right there on Instagram, Facebook. But it's going to be Mark the Dark, 2 Ks on Dark. Go ahead and give me a follow. Anybody that I got tagged on my page, if I'm collaborating on a post, give them a follow. Fari, Rocco, Jim, Trav, 3K, everybody. Just follow the whole team. All the Southwest artists.
Yeah, Commission Cypher, it's your boy Vinny Venom, Mark the Dark, man. Let's get to it, baby. You got some bars for us?
Oh, yeah. Shit, so.
Let's rock.
Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Southwest soldiers in the building still stepping. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me a mic and nigga, I'll get it done. Okay. I might as well just be honest. Lately, Southwest soldier has become a trending topic. But shit, I ain't even sitting bothered. My niggas hating on us and them niggas trying to knock us. That's why they picking coffins. We picking out hollows. Throw him in the clip and then he won't see tomorrow. And tripping on these niggas and I never felt no sorrow, no sympathy. Nigga, come and get with me. Matter of fact, I met some weird niggas in this industry, but we don't kick with them. Matter of fact, I only get the pen and kick that. But this is just a freestyle rap and that's a fact. A nigga gonna get your strap. What you gonna do with that to make me mad? Nigga, I'm Debo. Really in the streets though. Really got some, hold up. Nigga on smoke, that's the weed flow. I don't give a fuck, trying to creep though. Shit. I remember back in the day, starting this shit, trying to have my way, trying to rap at Trav House. When I should have taken my ass, man, you should have kicked my ass out. I should have been in class, I should have been in school, but it's alright, dog, cause I turned into a different dude. Now I'm in a different mood, and I'm in a different mode. Commission, it's another episode.
We out, baby. Commission Cypher, man. Episode 14, man. Hey, I appreciate everybody coming up. Mark the Dark.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, anytime you got something going on, man, I don't care if it's an LP, single, whatever, you got a spot up here, man, and kick it with us, man. So
salute. Southwest Soldiers official first project coming out late August. Get with me.
No doubt. Hey, listen, man. Peace to everybody on the Check-In Live, man. We out. All the videos will be up later on this week, clipped up, but I encourage everybody follow us, man. Commission Cypher, hydrobar.io, Vinny_Venom, man. We out this bitch.